Hi, and welcome to Local SEO Today. I'm Roger Murphy.
And I'm John Vong.
We want to welcome you to our episode. Today, we want to talk about and talk to entrepreneurs, John, and business owners that, in this world, this new world we live in, and we have been living in for over a year in terms of COVID. Not everyone, but many people are working remotely now, John. And the idea of how to, how to stay mindful or how to stay engaged when you're working remotely and not in a team environment that they may have in the past.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge for a lot of business owners, especially if they're so used to going to a bricks and mortar location. You used to service clients, right? Your customers would come in to you and you would have to serve them. And nowadays, you can't do that anymore. You might have changed it to now virtual meetings, virtual
Mm-hmm.
consultations, virtual team meetings, even. So things have changed, the way businesses have changed. And eventually,
Yep.
hopefully, things get back to normal because that's why you started your business in the first place. Maybe you're very social in nature and that's what you miss. But for
Mm-hmm.
this time being, you have to understand what's going on, the situation, why customers aren't coming to you, and how have you adapted. So being mindful of the situation, your customers'
Mm-hmm.
expectation, your staff, and even yourself is important.
That's right. And no one likes change, but it's always that's what part of life is all about. And the idea of this, this pandemic that we've all been affected by, and hopefully it's getting behind us. But the truth is, you have to look at it with perspective and realize that as a business owner, you got to pivot, and this is just the way it is. And your staff, they realize as well that okay, and this it's all perspective. They may not have to get in the car anymore, so they save an hour worth of commuting every day. But the idea of the loneliness or working from home, uh, that's the challenge right there.
And remember why you got in business in the first place, right? To serve your customers, to add value in
Mm,
someone's life, to really take care of your family ultimately. And it is a
yeah.
journey. And this is a blip in that long cycle of your business journey and your life journey. And put into
Okay.
perspective, like you mentioned, Roger, because there's going to be challenges. There's going to be highs and lows in every business. There's going to be highs and
Hmm.
lows in life, and situations that you have to deal with and juggle around. If you have a family or not, you have elderly parents, you have situational stuff that happen to you personally or not. And so this is just a blip out of the long business cycle that you may want to continue doing for the next 10, 20, 30 years. So realize that. And what can you do better or make it stronger so that you are positioned better in the future?
Exactly. And there's that old saying of in every crisis, there's opportunity. Just one of the simple things, and it was just literally a year ago, John, if I had said to you, John, what do you think Zoom is? And you might go, uh, you know, and for at least for myself, John, I had never heard of it before April of last year. And now it's as commonplace. And yes, there's other brands out there, but Zoom has the cachet. It's just like in 1 year, everyone has realized there's this technology that will allow you to pivot and still provide service to your clientele, or have staff meetings remotely. It was a tremendously opportune software or platform that was available out there. So yeah, so it's just against all perspective, how to use this technology, and then it allows you to take care of your customers.
And understanding, like, it also gives you a lot of time to reflect on not
Yeah,
just the negatives that are happening, but all the positive things that is going on in your life, in your situation, your
exactly.
business. And be happy with where you've got, how you've gotten to where you are today, right?
Mm-hmm.
People always want to keep pushing themselves, and they're always chasing for more and more revenue, more sales, more profit. But no one really looks back at their accomplishments and be
Mm-hmm.
grateful for all the things that you've done well. to be in business
Hmm.
for X amount of years, to be able to service X amount of clients over the many years, to be able to hire so many staff to support their families and their obligations. So being able to be sitting back to reflect on what all
Yes.
the things you had to endure to get to this spot, and be optimistic as well, right? Like what's going to happen in
That-
the future. I feel if you are mindful and understand that and be grateful for what you have, things are going to be positive in the future.
Exactly. And I was going to touch on that, John. And I have for so many years, I've always said to clients and new clients coming on board with my company and our company, that if you're in business, if you're an entrepreneur, that means by default you're an optimist. So you used that word just a moment ago, John. It is true. You've got to stay optimistic. And how do you take advantage of the situation? Meaning, if something has been thrown at you, a curveball, what do? You just have to, reflect on it. You have to look at perspective, but you're an optimist. So the idea of you're in business for a reason, you enjoy what you do, you enjoy taking care of your clients. Yeah, it's just a matter of just being mindful about the situation. It's not forever, but it is for now, and you're going to get through this.
And adapt to the new environment, right?
Hmm.
Understand what's going on in your business, your industry,
Yep.
your niche, your customers' behaviors. And instead of waiting for things to happen again, be very
Hmm.
proactive. Figure out if there's things that you can do better, stronger, more efficient, more productive in front of your customers. Listen to ask questions, communicate with them, acknowledge your gaps, understand from your customer standpoint what's going on in their lives, their situation, add value in
Hmm.
different ways, be
That's it.
supportive. Not just your clients, but your staff as well, right? Because they're going through a
Yeah.
lot of challenges as well. So
Yep.
always listen and help. Be there to not just have a positive influence in people's lives and your business, but have fun along the way. Like you got to enjoy
Yep.
what you do and be passionate. And if you this is not for you, then acknowledge that as well.
Uh-huh. Exactly. And, yeah, it's so true. And I had a call, an appointment with a gentleman the other day, and we made sure that, and it's the idea of connection, John, and that connectivity, using your camera to keep so that you can make a contact with that person. It isn't perfect, and it's not like being face to face, but it's the next best thing. So the idea of using your camera, some people don't, but it is so much more powerful if you just do eye contact and you stay in touch with that person. They get a connection of what you're all about. You talk about how was your day and how is it going and how was your week and what about the weather and what about those, the sports teams. But just, it's that idea of being, mindful and being engaged with your clients when you're in front of them.
And it's so much more powerful to have real life connections socially,
Hmm.
like if you can actually see people and things. But the next best thing is video. But if you can't even do video, pick up the phone, right?
Yep.
People forget that these are real connections that you're going to be having way better conversations than a text message
Hmm.
or an email,
So true.
where perspective is everything, and it's not as real as seeing someone, right? And you can go through a lot of different questions and answers and dialogue between people with a good in-depth conversation when you actually have both people on the same level playing field, right? Instead of waiting for
That's it.
an email coming back to you and not knowing what that really meant. Um,
Yep.
we always see this, eh, Roger? So
We do. And, as I say, being positive and looking at perspective, you're just what you're doing and what we are all doing is for because of this pandemic, we have to work many times remotely. Just be mindful of your own, what you're bringing to your client, your positivity. Just, as you say, John, be mindful. Just think about why you're in business in the first place, and how you've been successful in the past. Stay optimistic, but it's just, being mindful in this new mental space that we're in.
and remember, this is hopefully just a short blip. And yes,
Yeah.
things have changed, behaviors have changed. So how are you
Hmm.
gonna live in this new blip world and Are you going to enjoy it? Are you going to look at the positives? Don't look at the negatives, right? Look at
Exactly.
ways that you can improve. Look at the systems that you built, the processes, the people, how things have changed for the better in your business. The environment has
Exactly.
changed. Breathe,
Yep.
present, live presently. Talk to
Yep.
people
And
that,
I'd stay
you know,
being mindful too. I almost want to say stay away from the news, because the news is nothing but negative. But there's some real positives, John, like in our friends in the United States to the south. They have broken through 3 million per day are getting vaccinated. 3 million. So they are racing through to get everyone protected from this, this potentially deadly virus. And here in Canada, in Ontario, they had a milestone just the other day in terms of the number of hundreds of thousands that were done in a day. So this thing, it's a blip, as you say. We're going to get through it, get past it, and we'll all come out stronger on the other side.
yeah, and have fun, right? Like your business is, your lifelong dream, right? Most people, this is as big of as a venture as getting married or, a lifespan.
Mhm.
There's certain memories that you're going to really recall, right? Like having a baby, having family, getting, married.
Yep,
If your kids are leaving school, this is also your little baby, like your
yep,
business. And
that's it.
remember all the moments, the micro moments. This is one of those moments that everyone's going to remember, right? And
That's it.
how do you endure this? How do you get through this? Is perseverance, like stay positive,
Yeah,
enjoy the process, look at be optimistic, and have fun along the way. If you're still
that's
smiling,
it.
then that's at least you're in it for a long time. If you're miserable and you're not
Exactly.
enjoying your business, then look at different alternatives.
That's it. And no, and maybe final thought, this is all a journey. It's not a destination. This is your business it's your baby, it's your child, it's going to grow. It's a journey. It's not, you're not waiting for something to be over. You live it every day. So
Awesome. Well,
enjoy
thanks
the
so much,
journey.
Roger. That was a great talk.
Yeah.
Thank you.
John, thank you. And thank you to our listeners. And we'll see you again, and we'll talk again at Local SEO today.